Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla, here to talk to you today about Puig Engine Guards. You should be checking out a set of Puig Engine Guards for your ride if you want some cheap insurance to keep you from blowing up a motor when your bike goes down. Now these are currently being made for a pretty wide variety of bikes. A lot of off-road stuff out there, or crossover sort of stuff. Those of you guys on Tigers, V-Stroms, Wii-Stroms, you're covered pretty well, but also some street-based stuff too. Those of you who are zipping around in CB1100s or perhaps VersaZs, you're also going to have options from Puig. Use our bike finder, we're going to show you the set of Puig Engine Guards that's going to fit your bike exactly. Installation on these should be pretty basic for most of you. I'm going to call it a one bearder on our BSD, or beard scale of difficulty. Basic hand tools and a little bit of know-how go a pretty long way here. There's one little glitch though that I'm going to tell you about a little later in the video. Let's get right down to it here. Puig is making engine guards. These are not a highly technical product, it appears from the outside. Really, they're doing exactly what you would think they're doing. They protect your engine. When your bike goes down, these are going to save you from destroying something critically expensive on your bike. That can be really important, especially for those of you guys, I'm thinking specifically on bikes like the R1200 GS, where your engine hangs way out there. If you're way off the beaten path and you put a hole through a jug or perhaps ding up a head to the point where it's not working, you're not going to be getting back to civilization very easily. You can turn a potentially really terrible scenario into one where you just pick the bike back up and keep heading down the trail with the addition of a set of engine guards. One of the other things I like about engine guards personally too is that not only do they just save the engine, but instead they can save other parts of the bike. If your bike goes down and comes to rest on the engine guard, it might save you from, say, putting a hole in your tank or perhaps ripping off something from your front end. So keep that in mind. These, even though they're designed to protect the engine, you may find you get a little bit more protection than just engine protection from them. So Puig is making what I feel is a really quality piece here. Let's talk about some of the construction of these babies. So you can see these engine guards, first and foremost, are created from 1-inch tube. This stuff is 1 inch. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but A, it doesn't look particularly visually distracting on the motorcycle, having a fairly small diameter tube in there. But B, because it is 1 inch, you're gonna find you can attach all sorts of accessories to these. So if you're thinking about throwing a set of lights on there, or maybe an auxiliary set of pegs to give you a different spot to put your feet when you're out there on the road, you can do it quite easily with a set of Puig engine guards with that 1-inch tubing. I think you'll find that not necessarily every single engine guard in the world is made of 1 inch. So going back to that tubing, in addition to being 1-inch tube, you should also know too, it's got a wall thickness of 0.83. 0.83 wall tubing here is going to give a great blend of both lightweight as well as strength. Something heavier like an 0.95 or a 120, sure, it might last forever and ever, but it's also going to be heavy. It's going to make your rig, way down. You're going to have significant weight just in your crash protection. So the other thing I would like to direct your attention to too are the mounting flanges. 1/4-inch steel here. These things are pretty beefy for the most part. You're going to see secondary mounts of slightly lesser metal, 3/16 or 1/8 inch depending on what it is, but these things are definitely overbuilt. They're going to do a great job saving your motorcycle. They're all held together here by MIG welds, a fantastic way to put together a steel tube like this, and then finished in this really tough black finish. I think this is going to be a finish that's going to hold up really well. It's not going to expose itself easily. It's going to protect the metal underneath, so you don't have to worry about rust or such creeping in when you're not looking for it. So let's touch on that installation I had mentioned. Installation on these for most of you I think is going to be a snap. Like I said, basic hand tools, you're pretty much set to rock and roll. You're going to spend a little bit of time in the garage. As long as you don't have to pull too much plastic off your motorcycle, this should be a pretty quick installation for most of you. The one caveat that I had mentioned earlier, the directions are not in English, so if you're an English speaker, you are not going to necessarily have something in English. But there is a really awesome illustration, and because really these are just bolts going through holes, most of you should not be slowed down by this at all. I love these Puig engine guards. These are great. If I had a bike that was fitting a set of these, I would throw them on there in an absolute heartbeat, especially when you consider how difficult it can be to extract some motors and how difficult engine repair can be on some motorcycles. My opinion though is not the only game in town. Click that info button. See what some of your fellow riders who are rocking a set of Puig engine guards and their bike have to say about them. If you need a little bit of help with respect to fitment or selection of a part for your bike, get in touch with one of our gear geeks. See us at RevZilla.com, or you can always get us on the horn too. 877-792-9455. I'm Lemmy, I'm out of here.